Hey, how you doing, Drew?
Good, good, good.
Let me get Drew in here real quick.
Yep.
FYI, all y'all been asking me about it too, because there's just so much I want to say. But um, I in the next month or so, why I'm probably so damn tired is I'm coming out with a done for you and a done with you agency. Done for you agency being we build everything from the ground up, including booking out your calendar, call center, everything. Done with you is we're going to help you with sales and teach you how the shit's done and how to scale a bitch. But that's going to be coming out in the next few weeks. Drew's going to be a part of that. A couple other people going to be a part of it, but that's not a course. This is like a partnership like I did with Rank and Rent. So before anybody asks me, it is not a part of GMB Pros. So I did do a Rank and Rent partnership at one time, and that's a high ticket item. So, but this is me literally running your fucking agency for you. And the only thing you got to do is either A, you can sell them, close them, and handle the sales, or I can even have that taken care of. I mean, so, but more details will be coming out soon. So, but let's go ahead and get started, man. I dropped the link in the group, Miss of the book and everything. And as you know, I like to read books. Got freaking book galore behind me, so I'll probably go buy the bitch. So,
yeah, I definitely recommend everybody check this out. So go take a look. It's right on Amazon. Very easy to get. It's called Never Be Poor Again. I'm sure Matthew's going to talk a little bit about it. But I invite everybody to stick around. I know this is usually my slot to talk about lead generation, but while I have Matthew, he's a really good friend of mine and my business partner. And he's taught me a lot about money as a business, the philosophies, just taking the whole leap of what I did, William, switching into being a business owner and how to manage your funds in your business and make it work for you, So Matthew, go ahead and take it away, but love to hear what you got to say.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for having me on. Once again, as they already said, my name is Matthew Morales, and I promise you, if you pay attention to this class today, I will change your life. End of story. And if you don't pay attention, that's fine. That's on you. I don't care. Okay. So I really hope you guys take this serious. But like what Drew said, usually we talk about lead generation. But what I'm going to talk about today is behind the scenes of the business. A lot of you are working in your business and not on your business. I'm going to teach you today how to become profitable. Period. End of story. From day one today. So if you're ready, say ready. Go ahead. I need to see you guys type it in. If you're ready, say ready.
I'm ready.
Awesome. Okay. Perfect.
If you want me to unmute them, because that way they can communicate back and forth with you, that's good too, Matthew. If you want that.
Typing's good.
Okay.
Yeah, typing's good for now. So, all right, we're going to go straight to the point, and I'm going to ask you guys some questions that I need you to think about. Everyone hears about scalability all the time. Everyone talks about scalability, but not a lot of people understand that there's something called the scalability problem, which is business 101, and it's also basics of physics. So we're going to apply a lot of physics to business. The scalability problem. It means that your business will always come to a place in which something needs to change in order to get to the next level. A great example is when you think about like baking a cupcake, right? No matter how much of a genius you are, it doesn't matter how smart you are, you need the basic recipe of a formula to make a cupcake or a cake. You can't switch sugar for baking soda for salt, and then expect a cake to appear. That's absolutely insane. But once you understand the formula, you can make it from a cupcake to a wedding cake, a big cake, a small cake, topsy-turvy, whatever you want once you understand the formula. Here's the formula. Here's the thing. In order to scale from a cupcake to a wedding cake, the recipe is the same, but the structure is not, right? Because if you try to make it the same, the cake would collapse inside of itself. And that's what's happening in some of your businesses, all right? Some of you are think you own a business, but you don't own a business. You're actually self-employed. And how do you know the difference between being self-employed versus owning a business? Well, it's obvious. It's actually in the name, self-employed. If your business must employ yourself in order to continue, then you do not own a business. You're self-employed. Does that make sense, everyone? Go ahead and type in that makes sense if it makes sense to you. Fantastic. So that's really important. How many of you actually work in your business every single day and not on your business? How many of you every single day are putting out fires every single day? How many of you are working and living paycheck to paycheck? This is a problem for a lot of people, for a lot of entrepreneurs, but I promise you, we can fix it. And I'm going to teach you how to fix it today by asking you a simple question. If I offered you $1 million to buy your business, is your business sellable? Is it at the point where it's sellable today? Do you have a full clientele that isn't dependent specifically on you? Because did you know your business can't be purchased if it's dependent on the owner working? Nobody will buy it. Do you know how much your business is worth? How much is your business worth? Somebody tell me how much your business is worth. And just so you know, your revenue, the amount of money you take in, is not how much your business is worth. How many of you know how much your business is worth? Somebody say yes if you know how much your business is worth. Exactly how much it's worth today. No one? Okay. This is really important. How do we figure that out? How do we know what that is, right? So what we got to do, what we have to do is we have to, on day one, do two things. Number one, do accounting and pay yourself first. Not your bills, not your customers, not outsource, none of that. You need to pay yourself first. And then the second thing you do, profits first. Fantastic. There you go. He has it right there on that shelf. That book will change your life. Please. Yep. There you go. Mike McAllowitz. Please, everyone, read that book. I've been teaching this philosophy for many, many years on your personal finances. And so today I'm going to teach you guys this with your business finances. See? There we go. There you go. So it's an important book to read. It's sitting right there in this library. I also have a huge library downstairs. So the second thing that we need to do, right, is we need to automate everything. What is William always talking about? What is all these experts always talking about? Automation. Because, and the difference between being self-employed and being a business owner is that a business is a duplicatable system. Notice that on AT&T, Best Buy, or any major job you worked, no matter what role it is, within 2 weeks, someone can do that role or they can easily be replaced. Do you see how important that is? You need to be there. And every single time you grow, you're going to hit what's called the scalability problem. You're going to have to learn what new recipe, what adjustment to the recipe you're going to have to take to get to the next level. Before this business, I used to own a shipping business, a shipping company. And at first I was packaging and shipping everything out of my house and by hand and everything. And it got to a point where I would have to go to the store 4 or 5 times a day. And then I would have to walk to the post office 4 or 5 times a day. And then eventually I said, well, how am I going to get out of this trap? How am I doing everything? At that time, I was making about $20,000 a year. It was a side business out of my home doing this. Then I decided, you know what, I'm going to invest and I'm going to automate everything. Because I was already doing accounting, something I always do, but I didn't automate things yet. And so I decided I was going to automate everything, and I invested all my money. I got 2 employees. I made it so that all my supplies got shipped to my house, to me directly. I made it so the post office came to me and picked things up. And it got to a point that after I did this, my company jumped from $20,000 of revenue that year to $250,000. And I took a 5-week vacation in Egypt where I had someone take over my business. And 2 weeks later, when they were like, hey, I can't do it anymore, I literally just called my neighbor and said, hey, I will pay you to do this job, and explain to them the process over the phone. And it was so automated. It was so systemized that I came back home to $18,000 cash, and I split it in half with her, and it was life-changing. So that's the point I want to get you guys to. And I want to show you guys how to do that. All right. So how do we do this? First, it's this. First, we need to break a philosophy. Okay. First, it's the way we live life versus the way you run business is different. Profits, right? Profits is usually, for some weird reason, a lot of people decide to do sales minus your expenses is your profit, right? So you sell something, then you use whatever you have left to pay your bills, and then anything that's left over, you do whatever you can to survive off. But that's completely and utterly wrong, okay? That is completely wrong. And that's what almost everyone is doing every day. Did you have something to say? It looked like somebody was about to say something. Okay. So instead, we want to flip it around. Actually, now I should share my screen. Allow privacy. Oh, privacy settings. Hold on 1 second. It's not going to let me share right now. It's okay. I'm just going to read it to you. So usually what you're doing is sales minus expenses equals profit, and you survive off of that. And then at the end of the month, right, you've got too much month at the end of the money. You're trying to scramble, your bills aren't paid. A bill comes in that is a yearly bill. Usually it's a monthly bill. And now your money just went down and you don't know what to do. A lot of you don't even know if you can afford an employee. And it's actually just as simple as flipping the formula on its head and doing it the way you would actually do it in real life, which is sales minus your profit equals your expenses. I'm going to say that again. Your sales minus your profit equals your expenses. And this is what this means. Imagine if I said to you, hey, can you do me a favor and go get me a t-shirt? Here's 30 bucks, keep the change. What is the first thing you're going to do? You're going to calculate how much profit you want. And you're going to say, well, I could probably find a shirt for 10 bucks. I'm going to take $20 for myself. And I'm going to go find a shirt for 10 bucks because he said I'm going to keep the change. So the first thing you're going to do is find your profit. And then you're going to take your profit and spend what's left over. You need to do that in your business. You also need to do that in your personal finances. The moment you get paid, you need to take money, put it somewhere so that it can grow and work harder for you than you work for it. Is this making sense to everyone so far? Is this valuable? Are you guys finding this valuable at all? Awesome. Okay.
Hey,
go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off. Do you know how to tell Graham? I don't know Zoom that well, but he's the host now. If you know how to instruct him, you can talk him on how to let you share so we could get the full
Gotcha. So what it's saying is, in order for me to share, it's not this. I just bought a brand new computer, and this computer,
it's okay. My bad, bro.
It has privacy. No, it's okay. I appreciate that. It would be helpful. What happened is since it's a brand new computer, it's asking me for privacy settings since I never set it up, and it's telling me if I try to do it, it's going to kick me out of Zoom.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So, but really, the only thing I have here is a formula in front of me. But I'll do whatever I can to explain it. And you guys can, if whoever is doing it, you can Google like profits first accounts and pull up a picture if you want and find it and share it if that's possible. But so what I want you guys to do from now on is when you guys get paid, right? So we need to make multiple accounts. We need to separate our money and we need to make our money do things. There's something called Parkinson's law, which simply says, whatever amount of time you give somebody to do something is when they'll complete it. So if you give somebody 3 hours, they'll complete it in 3 hours. And if you give them 3 days, they'll complete it in 3 days. If you give them 30 days, they'll complete it in 30 days. So this also applies with your bank account. Very common. If you have $1,000 in your bank account, most people are going to spend that $1,000 to zero. What do you do to make sure you don't spend that $1,000 to zero? Is people who save money or whatever, the first thing they do is they put money to the side and then they spend that money to zero. This is natural. This is what a lot of people are doing every single day. So what we need to do is live within this habit. Instead of trying to correct this habit, which is what everybody's doing, everybody's going to tell you to spend less. I'm not going to tell you to spend less money. Okay. Instead, I'm going to say, organize your money so that when you spend it to zero, you spend it properly. Okay. So the moment we get paid, our company, let's say we get a $10,000 paycheck. As soon as it does, it comes into an account. And this is what you guys need to start writing down. It goes inside of what we call a holding account. It's called income. Money never comes out of this account. No bills ever, ever, ever come out of this account. Okay, so we call this the income account. This is how you always know how much money you actually have in real life. Because a lot of people think that just because your account has money in it, you're in the positive. But a lot of you are actually borrowing from the future. If I make $10,000 this month and I spend $10,005, but I get paid early, a few days early, so my account isn't negative, I'm still negative. My company is negative. I stole $5 from the future. And no matter how you try to justify it, you stole $5 from the future and you're broke, you're negative. And I need you guys to understand this is a really important thing. So the first thing I do is when I have $10,000 that comes into my account, it goes into this income account. And then I have other accounts. I have another account called owner's compensation. And me and the other owners pay ourselves for our work. And how do we pay ourselves? We give ourselves a percentage of all the money that comes inside. Thank you, Eric. Love the profit first philosophy. Appreciate that. So you take all the money that you're getting and you're going to break it and divide it into percentages. And so you're going to do it according to how much money your company makes. A lot of you are probably making under $250,000 of real revenue a year. And I'll explain the difference between real revenue and net revenue and gross revenue. Those are not the same thing. But it's your real revenue that makes your business worth anything. So most of you have a real revenue of $250,000 or less. You're going to use the same percentages as me. You're going to make an account called owner's compensation, right? And you're going to try to aim for 50% of your money going to owner's compensation to pay yourself. You're going to have another account called operating expenses. Sales never, ever, ever go into this account. Only bills and money comes out. This is where you pay your contract labor. This is where you pay your utilities. This is where you pay everything out of operating expenses. Because now you have a real life number of how much you can afford to spend. So out of that $10,000, I take 5% and I put profits away. And I put it in an account called profit hold. And I put it there in a separate account, impossible to touch. The other thing I do is I take 15% and I have an account called government's money or taxes. And I take 15% of every single penny we make and I put it in an account called taxes. So at the end of the year, I'm never surprised. A lot of you are hoping at the end of the year that you'll make money back. We will know for a fact that at the end of the year, we will have money. And just so you know, our company pays our taxes. My company pays Drew's taxes, personal taxes. My company pays my personal taxes and our other business partners' personal taxes. Okay.
Hey, really, I'm sorry, real fast, bro, because you dropping this is yeah.
Anyone questions? Feel free to stop me at any time.
How much percentage did you say you throw into the profit hold? That because I'm writing all this down in my Evernote. 5%. Right now,
okay. Right now, 5%.
Thank you. Sorry to cut you off, but this is okay. Nuggetville.
The second one we said taxes was 15%.
15. Mm-hmm.
You're going to put 30% into operating expenses and 50% into owner's compensation. But I need to explain something. These numbers probably sound impossible for some of you. Like, how's my business going to live off of 30%? You're not going to start off at these numbers. These are going to be your targets. So if you are doing your accounting today, you should be able to say, well, how much have I paid myself? And write that number down. In the last quarter or year, how much have I spent in bills and operating expenses? And you need to write that number down. And then how much did I spend in put away for taxes? Probably zero. And you need to write that number down. And then you need to say, how much money did I put aside for profit? And you need to write that number down, probably zero. And then you're going to see an actual health assessment of where your business is today. The truth, the real number, not this bull crap accounting that real accounting allows you to do. So just so you guys know, my history is when I was 18 years old, the first thing I did was go to for a degree in accounting. Okay, that was the very first thing I did. But I grew up reading books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad and Secrets of the Millionaire Mind and The Millionaire Next Door. These were all books I was reading as a child, which has very different philosophies than normal accounting. And so it was very, very confusing for me growing up. And now I understand the difference. And so I'm trying to explain to you the difference between poor man's accounting and rich man's accounting. And I want you guys to fix your situation. If you have any questions, feel free to ask as we go. So now you're going to make targets. So now you say, well, how much did I spend towards operating expenses versus how much money did I bring in? And if you spent 90% towards operating expenses, your target is, and it's impossible to bring it down, or so you think, and your target's 30, what you're going to do is take 90%, and that's how much you have, and you're going to remove 3% and just add that to the other accounts. And slowly, every quarter, you're going to do whatever you can to slowly get closer and closer to that number. And I want you to know, thank you so much, Tony. I want you to know that when I first introduced this philosophy to our company, and anytime I introduce this philosophy to anyone, the first thing people say, it's impossible, I can't lower my expenses. But every single time we do, we've turned bills asking this question, how do I lower my expenses or make more money? We've taken a bill that was $99, or like I remember we had 5 bills of $99 and turned it into one bill of $99 that we were able to sell an affiliate link for. Okay. And so we were able to take something. See, Drew says it was life-changing. We were able to take a bill. We're like, it's impossible. We have $500. Okay. And then we took that bill, somehow found a way to get rid of it all because we found one app that does the same thing as all those other ones and had a referral link that we can sell. And so we started making money on it, and we drastically lowered our operating expenses. And then guess what I did? I didn't pay us more. I removed some of our operating expenses and made it that we had to live off less. So here's the philosophy. The philosophy is pay yourself first, live off of what you have left, just like you already do in real life. Stop treating your business differently. You already get your paycheck, right? And you already start taking care of the things you need to take care of. And they're like, well, this is what I got left. This is the only, I only have $100 left. I have to make that last. And you do it somehow, some way. But if you have $500 to your next paycheck, somehow, some way, you make that last every single time. So instead of fighting that habit, let's work with it. Let's separate everything. So, because we're going to spend it to zero anyway, but in the right place. Let's spend it to zero, paying myself here. And let's spend this account to zero, paying for important expenses. Here's another thing that happens when you do this. You find out if you can afford an employee. Because every single time, right now, you probably don't know if you can even afford an employee. You're probably dying for an employee, wishing you could pay for a VA or wishing you could pay to automate, but you don't actually know if you can afford it. But with this system, if every single month you have an extra $1,000 left over now on your operating expenses, guess what? You can now afford an employee at $1,000 a month. This will change everything. Absolutely everything. All you have to do is separate your money. In my book, Never Be Poor Again, what I'm talking about is I teach about the laws of physics and how they apply to money and how they can't change. It applies to your business. It applies to your personal finances. It applies to your romance. It applies to everything. That's why I say a guide to money as a spiritual practice. Because if you understand the way water works, then you understand money, right? Water is a currency, a current. We call it a current. So it's a form of currency. Just like money is a currency. It's a current. It's a type of current. And so they have the same laws, Graham, so simple, but so powerful. I'm jumbling the spaghetti in my head. Perfect. I'm really glad. That's good to hear. So let's imagine water for a second. Let's keep it simple. Let's imagine a river, right? Hundreds and hundreds of years ago, you're about to start a village. You're walking through the jungle. You see a river. You decide, let's settle down here. Well, that water is your income. Okay. Well, first you're doing that, you're doing everything with that water and you're just using your hands, right? Then eventually, as you get smart enough, you create some kind of system to make it so that water just comes to you. So maybe you make a cup, and then maybe you make a barrel so that you can feed everyone in your family eventually. But then once your village gets too big, now you have to use that water to eat, to drink, to pee, to poop, to wash things, right? So are you going to pee and poop inside of your drinking water? No. What are you going to do? You're going to make a new channel of water. So the first thing people did in villages is they separate the channel. They make one channel so that they can eat and drink out of. And they make another channel so that they can pee and poop out of, so that they don't affect each other. And then make another channel that you can clean with. This is natural. This is just the way it is. Now imagine for a second, if we were to take a dam and put it inside of the river, what would happen? It would stop, it would overflow, then it would become stale and pungent and then putrid and everything would die. Okay. So that's what happens when you stop spending money. So the point is, I don't want you to stop spending money. I don't want you to stop using your income. I want you to organize your income and stop peeing in your cooking water. Okay? Because every single time you get paid and instantly go pay a bill with it and pay a bill with it and pay a bill with it and say, I'm going to take my profit and I'm going to reinvest it in the business. Did you know that every time you take a profit and reinvest it into the business, your business just took out a loan and became worth less money? Did you know that? Every single time you take money out of your business for a personal expense, did you know your business just gave you a loan? This is where real revenue is. This is how you understand what real revenue is. What's the difference between your net revenue, your gross revenue, and your real revenue? Real revenue is actually the only one that matters, and that's what the worth of your business is based off of. What is that? Easy. Let's say you're a real estate company, right? And you make $5 million of revenue. You're not a $5 million company. Especially if you have $5 million and you have 10 real estate agents that you pay $4 million in commissions to. You're actually a $1 million company managing $4 million of accounts. There's a huge difference there. And that's your real revenue, because that's what it costs for you to make money. That's what it's based off of. Do you know that number? Does anyone in here know your number? What is that number? How much is your business worth? If I said, hey, can I buy your business? Oh yeah, I'll give you $1 million because you're making $1 million in your business, but you have one client that's making 90% of your money. It's not sellable. If you're the one doing all the work, it's not sellable. This week's about lead generation. Here's actually a factor. If the owner is a major factor in lead generation, you cannot sell your business. It is not sellable. These are things to think about, because eventually you need an exit strategy, right? Are you going to give this business to your children? Are you going to leave it? Are you going to sell it? Are you going to just retire and walk away? Are you going to put it in a trust? What are you going to do with it? That's step one. The first thing they teach you in business is, before you start your business, what's your exit strategy, right? Not because you necessarily want to exit, but you need to know which way to build your business. And in order to do that, it needs to be automated. It needs to have some way to live without you. But more importantly, you need to go be able to leave for 4 weeks and be perfectly fine. Okay. So the only way to do that is with this income being channeled in the right direction, and not peeing in your cooking water, and not spending your tax money as soon as you get it, and not spending your profits back into your business, because it's not a profit. You're actually making your business worth less money every single time you invest in your business. That's not true. Also, the money that was first in your account that you used, let's say you started with a job. A lot of people here probably have a side job, and you probably use the money to help you pay for your business. I want you to know Every single time you personally take money out of your paycheck and put it in your business, you're loaning your business money, and your business owes you that money back, and that doesn't count as value. So your business needs to become self-sustainable. If you have 100 employees and still be self-employed. I want to fix that. So what questions do you guys have for me right now that I can help solve? What can I do to help you get closer to implementing these or understanding this philosophy? Anybody have any questions? That's it, 60 people, no questions.
I was about to say, I think they all might be muted, but guys, drop your questions in the chat.
Please.
This is crazy, right? Like, to have a brain like this right here, y'all better have questions.
Anyone's ever received any kind of information like this? This is something I understand and that I know. I could teach you guys marketing. I can give you 100 lead generation tricks. I can do all that stuff, but who cares if you're a slave to your job? I want you to be able to work on your business instead of in your business. Come on, guys. I need a question. Somebody give me a question, anything.
Listen, I'll ask you a question. So aside from, I'd like to know if you offer any services with this type of stuff, right? And your book, I'm a cop for sure. But I'd like to know, and I'm sure others would, if you offer any services with this, consulting or anything like that. And I would like to know, question-wise, like, do you specifically recommend any type of banks or certain bank accounts for the type structure that you recommended?
Fantastic. So I want you to have 2 different bank accounts, make sure they're business bank accounts. And then I'll answer your question next about is the company being viable. So the first thing is you need to make sure that you can have business bank accounts with no minimums and no fees. Okay. And even if they have minimums and fees, you're going to call them and say, hey, get rid of the minimums and the fees. They'll do it. Okay. And then you're going to have your 3 main accounts or your income account, money coming in, never bills coming out. Number 2, owner's compensation. You're going to pay yourself for your work, for your physical labor. And then your third is going to be the operating expenses, which only bills are allowed to come out of there. And then that's what your business is surviving off of. At a separate account, far away, it doesn't matter, just do it. But it would be great if you can do some kind of high interest savings or something like that. You're going to put your profits and taxes, make 2 accounts there. Tax hold, that's the government's money. You want to put 15% away for that. And profits, you want to pay yourself for not working. So your profits is you paying the owners for owning a successful business. Owner's compensation is you paying for labor inside of your business. There's a difference. Okay, so you need to collect your profits first. You need to make your business have money right away. And you can start doing that today. I want you guys to take any money you have, and I want you to split these. I want you to immediately take 5% in there, put it away, and just put it in profits. Do that today, right now. Okay. What is your feeling? Oh, wait, how can you understand when your company is viable? That is a fantastic question. Your company is viable when it's automated. When you have clients coming in through the door without you having to do anything. And when, imagine this, if I try to buy a company from you, I don't want to work. It's that simple. I don't want to work. I want to own a successful company, right? So that's how you know you're going somewhere. How's the company viable? The truth is there's only one rule to succeeding in business. One, okay? Have a plan, stay flexible. You understand that? Have a plan, stay flexible. That's contradictory on purpose because you need to know where you're going, but you need to understand that it's never going to be like that and you need to pivot. As long as you own a company that's constantly changing, constantly growing, your company will stay viable. You just need to learn how to automate things and you need to do accounting. You must run the numbers because you need to know if you're drowning or if you're barely making it. Okay, So what type of company we should have? An LLC, an S Corp. So a lot of you are going to start off with an LLC. Remember that an LLC can own other businesses. I'm not a tax attorney. I'm not an accountant legally. I'm not supposed to give this type of advice, but I will say that my company is an LLC. And because we are making actually a lot of money this year, we're actually going to transfer to an S Corp, start paying ourselves a salary. And then I'm going to start putting things away for like 401k and retirement and stuff like that. So imagine 3 guys working in front of their computer and our business pays for our taxes, is about to start giving us life insurance. We're about to start paying for life insurance. So the company's going to pay us life insurance. The company buys our computers. And when I say the company, I'm not saying me and Drew are reaching into our pockets and then seeing how much money we have left over and then like trying to put it in the business and no, that's not what's happening. Our business has an account called equipment. And 1% of all money goes in there. And once we have enough, the business buys us new equipment. And we have an account called marketing. And we have about 1% of our operating expenses going into this account for marketing. And every single time we get paid, we go in there and then we can do marketing to automate, because we're a marketing company, but someone has to do marketing for me. I can't do everything. Depends if you need a pass-through or not. Exactly, depends if you need a pass-through or not. So that's really what it comes to. When we're doing profits first, especially the way I'm doing it right now, I'm taking a draw. And I do quarterly distributions and I take a draw and then the taxes come out of my personal income, or my get charged to my personal income, but my company still pays our personal taxes as well. How can you integrate Bitcoin as a payment to employees and owners? So that is another fantastic question. Honestly, there's a lot of ways to do that and we can get into some nitty gritty, but one thing you can do is make it so that if you're taking Bitcoin, it automatically gets tied to something else, or half of it stays in Bitcoin and then half of it you liquidate. Okay, so you want to be able to liquidate some of your Bitcoin. You want to be able to leave it in it because Bitcoin is really like gold, if you understand. I'm not going to get into the thing about Bitcoin, but I can do a lot about Bitcoin. Don't forget, personal accounts are separate from any business accounts, and so are bills. Yes, please, guys, understand this. Every single time you swipe a business card and pay a personal bill, your company just lost value. Every single time you do the opposite, your company just lost value. Okay, how many accountants actually understand this? Fantastic question, Graham. So there are actually what's called profits first accountants. We have a profits first accountant for our company. What you're going to learn is that a lot of accountants love profits first after they've been introduced to it and seen it. But most of them, when they hear about it, they say it's wrong, or they say that's dumb or whatever. They don't understand it, but know that they're wrong because almost every accountant I've ever met is broke. Okay, so also my mother is an accountant. My mother has been an accountant for 30 years and now she does profits first. So people who like really get into it, they see the value of this. Most, yes, accountants are just bookkeepers who were all trained the same way. Exactly. There's something called GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles. Almost all accountants go that way, but there's like 50 known ways, but you're going to hear them try to argue that GAAP is the way to do it, but that's wrong. GAAP is one way to do it. Shall I have a CPA or a bookkeeper? Any service you can recommend to us? I am very dissatisfied with my CPAs so far. Okay, so I'm going to suggest that you get a CPA that has a bookkeeper separate from them. Okay, so our company, we have a CPA who has bookkeepers, and the bookkeepers are keeping the books for us, and the CPA is going over everything, checking our taxes, teaching us tax loopholes, things like that. Do you have some top tips for getting into partnerships? That is a fantastic question. Drew and I are going to teach our business model about how we scaled our business by hundreds of thousands of dollars simply by changing from doing white labeling and things like that to doing joint venture partnerships. Drew and I will do a class on that. It'll absolutely change the way you look at doing your business as well. I use Uplink. They're amazing and reasonable to use. Okay, great. Yeah, so these are all good questions. Feel free to keep them coming. But it's the philosophy that I want you guys to understand behind this too, right? So it's the philosophy. We might all slightly do it different, but this philosophy can change everything. Make sure to check that system out, profits first. You might also hear in other books, if you've ever read Richest Man in Babylon, he talks about that. It's a true story. And he tells the story about how a slave became a king and the wealthiest person in Babylon simply by separating his business accounts. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. He does all these things teaching about secrets about millionaires. In the very last chapter, he teaches you to separate your money. You know, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, every single one of them teach this philosophy in a different way. So this is something that's like really, really important. So then same thing. So back to, is your business purchasable? Is it sellable? Okay. So that first side of it is that profits first side, or that accounting. Do you actually know how much it's worth? How much is it worth? We just did, I guess I probably shouldn't just give literal numbers here, but so we just did our profits first health assessment this quarter, right? And so from that, we have our top line revenue, which is all the money that came in, minus materials and subs. So the only way that counts is if over 25% of the money that comes in comes from being outsourced, let's say a subcontractor, not an employee, but someone you're outsourcing it, you're white labeling it, you're not actually physically doing the work. That's a subcontractor, or that's materials. For example, construction. If you're in construction, you have to purchase lumber. That lumber doesn't count as part of the sale. So that doesn't count in your real revenue. Your real revenue is the amount of money you took in minus the amount it cost you to take that money, not counting bills, utilities, and things like that. So you might have $100,000 in revenue, but let's say you're just technically you're a mortgage broker. A lot of you might be mortgage brokers. You're not actually, not mortgage brokers, sorry, marketing brokers, meaning you're not actually doing the work. You're outsourcing all the work. If that's the case, right, then that money doesn't count as revenue. You can't count that as revenue. And so your real revenue is subtracted from that. Any other questions? Is there any way I can help you guys out? I feel like I had other things written down to talk about too. Yes, so in order to be purchasable, your business cannot be dependent on one relationship. So if you have one whale, right, your business isn't sellable. I already said that lead generation needs to be automated. And that's true. So that's the other thing about it. So you have some of these great people in here, right? You have William, who talked about how his done for you agency, right? You have people, I know there's people inside of the group who have like VAs and things like that, and these guys right here, these are your tools. All the people in this chat room, these are your tools. These are the people that you use, right? And it can really, really, really help, but you have to automate everything, and you have to know what your roles are. Everything has to be its own individual role. It has to be assigned. You need to know the difference between where the salesperson's job starts, where it ends, and the account manager picks up, and where a project manager picks up, and knowing the difference between a project manager and the account manager and the salesperson, because right now you might be all of those. But you need to be able to see what belongs to what job so that you can try to automate those things, right? If you have Go High Level, but it's not automated, automate it. If you have Asana and it's not automated, if you have Zapier, if you have all these tools and they're not automated, they're not doing anything, then we have to do something about that, you know? So I think it's actually a great time. I just saw Drew turn his camera back on. I was just going to say it would be a great time to have Drew jump in here with me too.
Oh, absolutely. What I was going to say, Matt, and this is what I said last week and the week before, when we're talking about lead generation, just lead generation in general, it doesn't matter what tools we use. It doesn't matter what eggs we're putting in which basket. You just got to do something. But when you do it, automate it. And that's why I love the LinkedIn strategy that we have, where we automate LinkedIn outreach so that leads will come in by themselves without us doing anything but pressing a button. Mm-hmm. We scrape data with data scraping tools and let it run in the background while we're running everything else in our business, because it's bringing in leads automatically without us doing anything. When we have marketing budgets set aside, we will hire a Facebook ad specialist to run ads for us, because that's their job and not us doing it ourselves to get leads, right? So we're doing different things, different baskets, different tools, but we automate that process to do exactly this, you know?
And we have multiple streams of income.
Yep.
And some of them, yeah, we have two types of income, by the way. We have active income. That's an income that we physically work for every single day, right? So Jeff Fiel asked, how many hats are you guys wearing? So same for us, right? And we're actually fixing this right now. So we have a lot of things automated, and we're working on automating project management, because right now we're getting stuck between being a salesperson sometimes and being an account manager sometimes and being a project manager sometimes, which is a fix that you do once you just define those roles. And then you automate it. You automate that by one of two things. You use tools to automate it, or you use a human being to automate it. And so we find human beings that do the other things that we just don't want to do, and we outsource it to them, and we make sure to calculate for the pinch of salt. We were talking about recipes before. You know, you have to know how much a pinch of salt costs. I need to know how much your work costs, and I charge for that, and I'll outsource that. So another important thing, actually, how to scale your business is knowing what the heart of your business is, or what can be also called as the queen bee role. I'm going to give you guys a great example. Some of you guys might know this. McDonald's. What is McDonald's in the business of? A lot of people think it's burgers. It's not. It's real estate. McDonald's is a real estate company. They sell real estate, the best real estate location, with a restaurant and a system to people. They don't sell burgers. McDonald's doesn't sell burgers. They sell buildings. And they know that. Because if their queen bee role, if their most important thing was making the best possible food, guess what they would be doing? They'd be making some really fantastic, expensive food. That's not what they're doing. They're selling real estate. And they know that, and they know it well. You need to know your company. We started off, we were building websites. We started off building lead generation. We started off building this and doing this, and we're doing all these things. And then eventually it really hit. Oh, we're not a website designing company. We're not even a marketing company, even though we are a marketing company. We're not even a marketing company. Really, we're account managers. And some of you, that just might be what you are. Really, we're just account managers.
We came to the realization the other day, we are brokers. We broker deals. And you'll learn this when we start teaching our JV partner model, which took us away from white label and how we, because at first I was, you know, when we started the business, when I met William, I was like, oh, I want to do that. I want to do what you're doing. You're white labeling, you're getting all these jobs. And I watched William explode. But then I realized we can take that a step further and become brokers with other partners. Imagine another partner coming to you saying, let's just say you don't book any leads this week, right? Yeah, you have nothing on the table, no appointments. You get a phone call or an email from a partner who says, hey man, I just signed a $100,000 contract. I need you guys to do this, this, and this. You don't have to sell it at all. And you did nothing. And you just got paid.
And so now understand, that's what we're saying. Passive versus active. That becomes passive. It actually got to a point, I want you guys to know, our business, Drew and I, and Gabriel, he's not here right now, but we got so overloaded with lead generation. We had so many sales coming in, so many, that we literally just turned off our calendar and completely blocked it off for 2 weeks. And you know what ended up happening? We kept getting calls, and we kept getting referrals, and we just kept getting jobs. And we hit the scalability problem, and we had to pivot and fix it. For anyone who doesn't know the scalability problem, or believes that you know, that's something that you just do once, Amazon just dealt with the most recent scalability problem Amazon just dealt with, because you're going to deal with it forever, is they became so big that they were simultaneously on every single TV and in all the homes at the same time. So when the commercial said, Alexa, buy this, millions of Alexas ended up ordering something off of Amazon. And Amazon lost millions of dollars. They had to figure out, for the scale that they've gotten, how are they going to make it so that this doesn't happen? That's a scalability problem. So you might just be in the scalability problem of you need an employee, or you might just be in the scalability problem of you're making the exact same amount of money and spending the exact same amount of money, and you just don't know how to fix that yet. But the truth is, there's only two reasons you plateau. One, there's something you haven't learned yet that you need to apply. Here's one of those things hopefully I taught you. Two, which is usually the answer, there's something you have learned and you haven't applied it. And once you fix that, you'll fix your scalability, right? Whether that means buying bigger equipment and not being cheap, whether that means, okay, I'm just gonna have to hire 5 employees, whether that means I'm gonna have to now start paying someone to do my advertising for me because I need someone to be doing lead gen so I can focus on other things. We're all gonna hit scalability problems, and that is a very good sign. Every single time you hit a scalability problem, that's when most businesses quit, but that is a fantastic sign. Don't think and grow rich, ACT and grow rich. Act.
All right. Well, if you guys haven't seen the links, I've been dropping the links in the chat here. If you want to grab Matt's book, go for it. It's awesome. Literally, like I said, it changed my life learning about his philosophies, and I can't tell you enough, go check it out. And if you have any more questions about anything that we chatted about, this evening, go ahead and drop it in the chat. I think we're about to wrap up here in a couple minutes. But please ask more questions if you have them. This is your chance.
And if you're not gonna ask questions, take your ass to Amazon and buy that book. Don't play yourself.
I appreciate it. You guys are selling it more than I am.
No, yeah,
I'll tell you. What is the book about? It's a personal development book like Rich Dad Poor Dad or whatever, but it's different in the sense that I actually teach finances without ever telling you what to do. Instead, I tell you stories of me growing up poor as hell in the hood, reading all these financial books and failing, and then reading new books and trying those and then failing, and then joining the Marine Corps and going to war and doing all these things and then failing, and then traveling the world and going to India and Nepal and all these stuff and still reading these books and learning about finances and starting business and failing. And finally, it one day hit me that it wasn't my poverty keeping me poor. It was my arrogance, because I read all the books and I went to all the seminars, but I was skipping past the intros and skipping past the conclusions. And the book would say, do this exercise or try this thing out or do it now. And I'd be like, oh, I'll do it later. Or I understand, I'm too smart for that. But it was arrogance. That's all it ever was. That's what was keeping me poor. And so that's what I'm teaching. And I teach the laws of finance through stories of my failures, so you can understand and hear all the rules that I came across and I just wasn't following. And so finally it hit me that all I had to do was just follow the damn recipe. And I'm giving you guys a recipe that will change your life and your business. And every single business I taught this formula to has exploded one way or another. So please.
And I'm telling you, I was skeptical as hell at first, and Matt will tell you. I picked up this book and I couldn't put it down. I stayed up for probably like 5-6 hours all night, read the book in one sitting because I could not get over it. It was just mind-blowing how everything was so relatable. And I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And just implemented every single thing in every situation. And it just changed the way that I look at money.
Yeah.
Completely.
Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate it. Also, guys, another thing about the book is, please, ignore the damn typos. I paid for like 5 editors, and there was just so many things. I got to the point that I decided, which was another great lesson in life, done over perfect. And that's something I hope you guys can stick with. Done over perfect. Just get it done. Fix it later.
And I think Tony asked, when are we doing a JV training? If not next week, I think next week I'm going to dive back into Ulink a little bit for LinkedIn lead generation. I did that a couple weeks ago. There's a lot more that I can show you with Ulink. And then the week after that, so probably 2 weeks from now, we'll do some JV stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, Drew. I think I might have seen you once, but I never really caught your stuff. Can you drop a link to whatever it is you got going on with LinkedIn? Because I'm now in that agency realm. So it's something I would like to check out and show to my partner and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we do, I mean, it might be best to actually just, come back next week.
All right, yeah.
I can show you a walkthrough because the way Ulink is it's the type of automation tool that I use. There's a ton out there, but it's the one that, I mean, we've tried them all, right?
Oh, it's not your tool. It's just a tool you use.
No, but it's a system and philosophy that we developed with that tool.
I'll come Tuesday because I got to see how you use it.
But you have to know somebody to get access to it, and that's where I come in, right?
Gotcha.
So and we're here to help everybody, right? So. And that's why. And I know somebody messaged me earlier. If it does take a little bit to get approved to have access to that tool, we have to submit and go through a submission process. If I haven't gotten to you yet, it will be coming. So just be patient. Send me an email if you've reached out to me, and we'll get you access to everything. But we're going to dive into that again next week. Talk about LinkedIn lead generation a little bit further. And there's a really, really cool methods that we use. I showed it last class. If you check the back end of William's stuff, there's a tool called Dominate B2B that we use for scraping leads directly from LinkedIn. You can actually go right on LinkedIn and you can see all their contact information, their email, their phone number, everything right there in front of you. You literally just take a couple minutes, or if we're automating, right, like we talked about, get your employees to do it. And you could have cold callers literally just go on LinkedIn, boop, 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 because it's right there. Hit them with an email, hit them with a message, hit them with a phone call.
Yep.
Load it up into your cold email list, load it up to your IVR from Kevin's tools, load it up, use all of these things that all of these guys are teaching you and create a giant machine that works for you and automate the process. Boom.
Follow their recipes and then automate it.
Yep.
Follow someone's recipe, then automate it. That's it.
And that whole mindset that me and Matt have, that's why we excel at JV Partners. Is because it's not about us beating you guys, because we're all web designers or SEOs or whatever, right? I'm not here to be better than your company. I want to grow with you and give the client the best product possible.
Exactly. We don't want to be
philosophy.
Yeah.
You want to give the client the best product possible. And we can do that together as a team. We don't have to compete in the way that you think it's competition. Okay. So just take that moving forward. But I think we're going to wrap up. Again, one more chance. If you have any questions about Matt's philosophies, profit first, business, anything, go ahead and drop it.
I don't understand how these guys be so quiet. Hey, Matthew, it was a pleasure to meet you. Drew, I know we met once before. Pleasure to see you again, though. I'm going to come through next Tuesday. Hey, Matthew, I got to ask, where you from? Where you grew up? Where were you raised?
Jersey.
Jersey, what part?
Newark, Patterson, Pacific.
Jersey City, Brick City, baby. I'm from Brooklyn, so you already know, baby.
My mom's from Brooklyn.
No doubt. It was a pleasure meeting you guys, and congratulations on how y'all crushing it. It's no surprise with that mindset, systems, and automation. I like y'all vibe, man. I'm gonna try to come through on Tuesday, show y'all some love and learn.
Awesome.
Yeah, I got a lot to teach. Thank you.
Feel free to reach out to me guys anytime. Also, if you guys have any questions, if you guys need help. You asked earlier if I do this, if I teach this. So it is something I used to teach a lot, and it just started becoming heavy. So what I'd rather do is start doing groups like this, teaching these things. I used to do consulting, and I used to originally do this for corporations and companies and stuff like that, helping them become profitable, things like that, before I started doing it on my own. And then that was the thing. So the philosophy became, I need to automate it. And the only way to automate this is to teach classes and to video classes and things like that. So that's where I'd rather start moving with this rather than still doing consulting.
look forward to whatever you put together because I need it. I'm a baby in all of this stuff. So this was right on time for me.
Good. I hope those guys helped you guys out.
Yep. Thanks again for everybody sticking around. Again, I'll drop the link one more time for the book if you didn't grab it already. But this is Matthew Morales, Never Be Poor Again.
Drew,
there'll be a spike in sales on that one.
Drop the link to your group, Drew.
Oh yes, we do have a LinkedIn group. If you guys want to stay in the loop there, we're actually going to get more active and do live videos like this in there as well.
I hope so.
So let me go ahead and drop that as well. Thanks, Jeff. Let's see here.
That's a great class.
Hey, Drew, what's your last name? Don't mind me asking.
My last name, Kramer, Kramer.
All right, got you. Send you a Facebook friend.
I was gonna say, you guys can request me on Facebook or you can find my Instagram. I
was going to say, Matthew, this is something completely different, like you usually for this group, because everything's SEO orientated. But this is one of the most important things, I guess, is managing the back end of those finances and getting a bit of a clear picture of what is actually going on in my business. Just asking that question of, how much is your business worth? Stone cold silence tells you we're all fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. And that's why, because Drew and I were talking about this, and we're talking about all the classes. And I can teach you sales, I can teach you lead gen, I can teach you hundreds of things, but how many people are going to teach you this part right here? And so we decided, I think this is the part some of you guys need. It's how to work on your business instead of in your business and what that actually means. So finances is a big part of that.
Yep. And if you guys liked it, we can have Matt come back and do more of these discussions every now and then, but also join our group, and we talk about everything, so we're going to start doing lives in there. It's not just about lead generation. It's about business. It's about partnerships. It's about working together. Like I said, I've been preaching JV partnerships this entire time because it's not white label. There's a difference between white label and JV, and it's strictly like being a team player, being a two-way street, giving someone something that they don't have, allowing them to grow their business with it because they're going to do the same thing for you, So we hop on our partner sales calls sometimes. We will work together to give the client the best product possible, and we get return favors by getting whale contracts.
Yeah, like oh my God. Yeah, these guys, because of our partners, just so you know, I guess you shouldn't really name drop, but we're going to anyway. Some contracts we've come across our table. Goodwill, working with the Navy, working with the CDC, Beneteau yacht clubs. I mean, like
crazy stuff,
just like ridiculous. Bentley.
Right. Then the key to it is that you're nobody. Your brand is nobody unless you make it something like William did, right? How, you go in tooth and nail being the guy that all the other SEOs were coming after, right? But you have to create that identity first. And if you don't have that identity, who does? The bigger fish do, right? So find a way to work your way up the ladder to those bigger fish. Our partners are in cahoots with the big fish. Yeah. So we find the middle partners, they're going to broker jobs from those big fish. They're going to take that and they're going to split it up into all different kinds of lanes, and they're going to broker it to us.
And we don't got to do the account management.
Yep. We don't have to touch account management, and we fulfill it, take care of it in-house, or just broker it again, send it out. Mm-hmm. So we work together as a team to fulfill these large jobs, and it just changes the game. Client doesn't lose because the client gets an ultimate top line experience with all these different hands in there that are all working towards the same goal.
And they don't have to go anywhere else because you have all the things you need. You're literally like, oh, commercials? Yeah, hold on, I got you. Billboards. Oh yeah, I got you. Billboards. Oh, because you have all these connections and because your partnerships are so strong, you can call your commercial guy and be like, hey, I have a guy that wants to do commercials, but I don't really know anything about commercials. Can you get on the sales call with me? And then this guy, he's going to go on a sales call with you and he's going to, shoot for the moon and you guys are going to smash it together. So it'll change everything. It really does.
Right. And while we're talking about, just go ahead and look at our website. It's www. There, I'll just drop it right here.
Yeah.
bloodmarketingllc.com. Don't go there to like purchase stuff or whatever, unless you want to, but go there and just look at our services. We do a lot. We have a lot of services right there. And that's not because we do every single thing in-house, but it's also because of our partners. Our partners offer some of these services that we make a two-way street so we can get a job. We can send it out, but because we sent it out.
And lead gen. And because on our website, it says we offer this and we do offer it through a partnership. So because of that, now that partnership, another marketing company, and you could be a close friend of ours because of this small thing. Now you're getting lead generation from a whole other company. Now we're doing lead generation for all of our partnerships and we're freaking awesome at lead generation.
Yep.
So imagine that.
I know I've worked with some of you guys in here with the LinkedIn strategy, and a couple of you guys have requested access to it. But once we have it up and running, we're going to teach you how to use it effectively.
Yeah.
And in some cases, we've been, trying to get away from running it as a done for you service, but it's not out of the question, as we go, as we teach. Right. So please, join a group, send us friend requests. Come in here on Tuesdays. We're going to have a lot of fun with these types of discussions. Matt didn't even share a screen once, and look how many of you guys stuck around.
Yeah.
It's engaging. It's fun. Mm-hmm. We have a good time, and that's what it should be about.
Yeah.
But except for bottom line, profit first, about paying yourself first, ultimately.
Pay yourself first. Right now, every single one of you, and you should send me a message afterwards, every single one of you, go into your business account, take 5% of everything in there, put it somewhere else that you're never allowed to spend anywhere, and survive off of the rest. And once you see that you'll still survive when you put that 5% away, you'll probably do it again next time, and next time, and next time. Okay? Do that today. Make that the step. What I talked about in my book was arrogance, that I read all these things and I never took the action. Please, guys, just take the damn step. Thank you for tuning in.
Yep. All right, guys, take care. Have a good night or morning.
We've got a round of freebies going, guys. So everyone drop a number between 1 and 28. Don't double dip, just one go. And there's a freebie at the Rain Fortress store. Anything you want. Even maybe a date with Jonesy, who knows?
Ooh, nice.
Doing that vacation getaway.
All right, better share my screen. Thanks a lot, guys, too. This has been really, really awesome. Anyone see that?
Oh,
yeah.
Yep, no, there.
Okay, here we go. Spin the wheel. Number 20, lucky number 20. Who we got? Geez, a lot of 20. Oh, Adam, on the money, bro. Straight out of the gate. You're a winner. Winners are grinners.
Congratulations.
How am I going to do this? How am I going to contact you, bro? Just hit Will up and tell him, mate, you want your freebie. Pretty simple. We like to do things easy here. Matthew, awesome, man. I've already sold about 10 of your books, I think. I've just been sending PMs out there. Yeah, you just got to fucking get this. Don't even talk. Just get it. And,
hey, Matthew, I have a question. Do you have a Google sheet you use to keep all that stuff, together? Or like the expenses that come in and like,
so I can. So what I did do is I kind of nerded out and I made an Excel sheet that's kind of plug and play. So, but it has all my business finances and stuff on it. What I'll do is, Drew, please remind me to do this. I'll turn it into a template and then I'll send it to you guys. And so that you can see, and you guys can see. So after we started doing this, before we were paying ourselves randomly, now me, Drew, and Gabriel get a paycheck every 10th and every 25th, no matter what, and we pay ourselves a profit distribution every quarter. We just gave ourselves a profit. We gave ourselves a bonus, which was fantastic. So yes, I will absolutely send that to you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Yeah, we might even do like a 5-day boot camp or something with this stuff, and we'll give away templates and documents and stuff like that, within that. So if you guys are interested, of course, we just want to kind of gauge that interest, and because this is valuable stuff. You can't have your business run blindly and expect it to work, which I was doing right out of the gate until I met Matthew, and then it changed everything. So
I'm in for the spreadsheet. I'm in for the spreadsheet. Perfect. I'll send you guys all this spreadsheet. I guess I should make a list of your emails.
Make them tune in. Make them tune in again, me included. We want the spreadsheet. Got to come back.
Right. Yeah.
Got to come back. Let me tell you something. I have so many classes in this brain. I could literally do a class every single day for the next 100 days, and it would be a different topic. So don't even worry about it. I'll just give you the info. All right, let's see. Command V. All right, so I got yours, Bob. Send me your email, and I'll copy it right now. And then you send yours to Michael.
Okay.
And please email me too if you're still waiting on your Ulink login, access, etc. But they were a little bit backed up, so that's why I was taking a little bit longer. But I would definitely follow up with you. So please send me an email as a reminder if you haven't heard from me yet.
Lots of gold today, guys. This has been really, really good. Left field, man. Really, really helpful.
Good. I'm glad. We weren't sure if we should do it on lead gen, but we knew it would be valuable. So I'm really glad that we ended up doing this one.
When you guys say lead gen, do you mean like leads off lead gen, LinkedIn specifically, or just all types of lead gen?
I mean,
okay.
I mean, whether we're talking about from us doing LinkedIn, yeah, we do LinkedIn, we do email campaigns, we do I do something that I invented. We should do a class called the Whisper campaign. I invented something a long time ago called the Whisper campaign. It's a marketing technique that I use. Yep. And it's next level. We should give that.
Yeah, do it for Matt's book as an experiment. And Whisper campaign would be you guys go into a group, for example, right? And start saying, hey, I just saw Matthew Morales present in this course. This book is awesome. Something like that. Just talk about the book. Like, this book is amazing. This book changed my life. Yeah. And then, someone else comes in and says, like, for example, I come in there too at the same time. I'm like, oh yeah, I just bought that book. Right? That's a Whisper campaign. You're getting engagement because a lot of people start talking about the same topic. And then you just get, your other Facebook accounts. Cause I know you guys have multiple Facebook accounts, Jeff included in that. But you come in and out and you start this Whisper.
Exactly. I might go into a group that let's say I'm selling a book for kids struggling in school. I might go to a group called Maryland Moms, or teachers with struggling students, or parents with struggling students. And I'm gonna put a comment that says something like, anybody else have kids struggling in middle school or something? And then a whole bunch of people say, oh yeah, me too, whatever. And then Drew's in there like, yeah, me too, blah, blah. And I'm like, I heard about this awesome book, that's specifically for these people. And then Drew was like, hey, I heard about that book too, and I bought it, and it was everything. And then now we start a conversation, and like 40 people go and buy that book. So that's a Whisper campaign. Another great example is restaurants. How I got this idea in the first place was I was in a movie theater, and someone behind me was talking about a New Orleans style restaurant and about a new one that was opening up. Never heard of it, never been there, anything. About a week and a half later, someone else was like, man, I'm really in the mood for some New Orleans style food. I wish there was some here. And I turned around and I said, hey, there's a phenomenal New Orleans, but I gave him the address, I told him the name, I told him everything, off of hearing it from a stranger behind me, a place I had never been to in my life. So I just went and I promoted this company that I've never even been to. And we do it all day, every day. So I realized that this is something we're naturally doing. And so that's what we started calling the Whisper campaign, right? Or plant a seed advertising, where you start conversations in groups or at cafes or things, and then you get them all talking about it, and it works phenomenal.
And this is, that it's a big staple in our organic strategy that we do, and we can do it with anything. But also, guys, use your tools with everything, right? Guess what we do with a whisper campaign? If we're on Facebook, we're gonna follow that up by scraping every single person that commented on that whisper, and then we're gonna
go ahead.
Right, hit them with a message, right? Hit them with a direct message right afterwards, saying, "Hey, I saw you. We were talking about this, right?" And then drop the link.
Yeah. And I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind if you guys steal my, my strategy. It works. Just give me credit for it.
Or come back to our class, join our group, stay in the loop, because we got a lot more to share.
I think I got all of your emails now, Marissa. Okay, wow, nice. I promise not to spam you guys. Graham will, though.
Yo, the way Will got this shit, bro, I don't know how I'm supposed to ever get any work done or have any time with my wife or my family. Monday through Friday, bro. It's like
that'll be my next class.
Yeah, time management.
Yeah, time management.
You about to be my best friend, bro. Because I'm telling you, the finances, time management. Then maybe we could get into anger management. I'm just fucking around.
And you know what?
Do that too, probably.
And that's great, because I had time management issues in the very beginning, and I'm telling you, I met this guy.
He helped you out with randomly, that too, bro.
Right. So we just set a strict rule: Monday through Friday, from this time to this time. That's it. No more. Once 4 o'clock hits, we're done. That's it.
You know how hard it was for him to do this? Like trying to get Drew. I want you guys to know, trying to get Drew to shift to some of these ideas was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my damn life. Okay. But I'm sure he's grateful for all of it, because now he works 9 to 4. He gets a paycheck every 2 weeks. He gets a bonus every 3 months.
Yep.
Right.
And I was able to quit my 9 to 5 job to save time to make it happen. Right.
Yeah.
And I read Matt's book. It took me a couple months to let it sink in. And then I quit my job, and then I just followed the profits first model, pay myself first. And you can even do this with your personal finances too. You can take the same philosophies, put them towards your personal finances, which he teaches you in his book how to do that. And it just changes your life.
Yeah, Michelle, that's me. I never stopped. Yeah, so that's a lot of people. I'm the opposite. You're going to see that. I do not work. I want you guys to know, I don't work. And I make a lot of money not working. I'm not saying I make a lot of money. I'm saying I make a lot of money not working. Okay. I could literally never work another day in my life because we've worked to set it up. And that's what we're now doing with the business. So now we're making it so the business, we will never have to work a day in our life. We get to work every day if we want to, but we never have to work. And I hope you guys can get there too. And Michelle, trust me when I tell you that a lot of people get that, and you are not being more successful by working more. If you have to work more, you're doing something wrong. Okay. You should be able to work less. So that's what I'll leave you guys on. It's already 10:48 at night where I'm at, 48 minutes past my bedtime.
I get on for that too.
Thank y'all so much, man. It's funny because you started off real, listen, if you listen to me, I'm going to change your life. Tonight, I was like, damn, I wasn't even supposed to get on here at all, but I was where Holly was on. I was like, Boricua. He's like, he Boricua, and he's starting off like this. I got to fucking stay. But thank you, because that's definitely life-changing stuff. I look forward to more. Drew, again, thank you as well. Nice to see y'all.
Absolutely.
See you next week.
Awesome.
All right, guys. And I'm sure this video end up in the back end of William's stuff too. I think he was recorded, right, Graham?
Yep.
Yeah, buddy. Just done in the bank. Thanks a lot, guys. Really appreciate it, man. It's a game changer today. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Have a good one. We'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.
See you guys. Thanks for hanging in. See you, Big Mike. Love your work too, bro.